Circle Newcastle. Newcastle United FC.
Buongiorno everyone, welcome to another edition of Magpie Mondays. You can actually see you this week.
Hello!
Unlike last week, Halloween edition.
Aye. Renty had his contacts in, that's why. Dodgy contacts.
Aye.
Vampire ones.
Not to do with it being 5 hours later last week and not having the LED light, but...
New equipment, new start.
KVS Investments, thank you for the new equipment.
Yes, thank you very much. Brilliant help and invest wisely.
With KVS. And, still a bit spooky though, the tune. Scary little run of form we're on now.
Aye, that slide we're on, it's not a good one.
Kamikaze in it, went wild.
Aye. Rubberdini Rapids, bro. It's a dodgy one.
Aye.
But hopefully we'll pick it up in the near future. Obviously we've got the international break. Obviously thanks to Gareth Southgate being a prick. We've got most of our squad. But our key players are still in the tune, training hard. Don't know the ins and outs, they're probably in Dubai or somewhere like that with their missus. But as long as we keep the squad together, get the time, regroup, refocus, and gone again.
I think the international breaks came at a good time. Normally it comes for Newcastle when we're
on
fine,
a good form, aye.
when we've got momentum, but we're happy with the international break, like you say. Players can get in the training ground, get the work in. Hopefully sort something out for the tough trip away at Man U.
Yeah, other teams have got their players gunning away.
Aye, hopefully a couple injuries for Man U. Pogba's already out, but a couple more do us nicely. They're not doing great.
But everyone's fucking quiet at the minute, not since Pogba's gone. Lukaku's went missing.
Aye.
Mkhitaryan's
6
gone
games
missing.
without a goal, bound to change that against us.
Probably scored a hat-trick now, won't he?
Aye, get it on.
Yeah.
Big L's, big tip.
Big L's, big tip. Billy's bets.
Right, talking about the Bournemouth game here. Great start, got off to a flyer. Numerous chances. Obviously Begovic made some class saves. We hit the bar. Main talking point of the game was Gale was onside, was given offside.
Yep. And just a little point, Renty. It was lovely seeing that formation that being absolutely begging for
4-4-2, ladies and gentlemen. That's what NFC played. The right formation, but the wrong players.
Yeah, exactly, Renty. It should have been. I would like to see Mitro bang in there. Joselu doesn't really do much in that sense, and I think Mitrovic's play as well. Like he can hold the ball up well, draw defenders in. It was really perfect for Gale to get on the end of some of them balls that we know he can produce. When going back to the game, I think Shelvey's trying too hard to impress the England selectors. Obviously being knocked back this week, obviously on that hype of Southgate was at here against the Palace game. He was watching fucking Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who's played 3 games in a shit Palace side that somehow gets in. I can understand why, like, from that perspective, with England selecting like Abraham and him, trying to bear them in when they're younger.
They came up through the under-21s and Southgate's little boys.
Exactly. But I think when you got like, they're just a friendly, try some of these like outside players that, like, these friendlies mean fuck all. Do you know what I mean? Like, absolutely fuck all. And I think they should try and do like a Premier League, not B team, because I think it'd be a bit disrespectful for the players, but like, go and select your regulars. Do you know what I mean? Like, because
you know what they're going to offer, so it's a chance for someone else to come through and shine.
Like Shelvey and Mark Noble in midfield, something a bit different. Do you know what I mean? Like a different striker. Yes, Tammy Abraham maybe is in that like group of wild cards.
But if Tammy's there up front, then surely Lascelles is the one at the back who's like in the same sort of category as him.
Exactly. Yeah. If they're bringing these sort of players in who are like 20, 21 or to get experience, yeah. But Lascelles has got relegated, was captain, got a team back in the Premier League,
scored goals
in the Premier League, had clean sheets in the Premier League. Sure, like,
what more do you have to do?
What more does he have to do? I think that's what Shelvey was like the weekend. He was putting in crosses, he was putting in daft balls.
Too many trying to score worldies, like outside the box, lashing it over and that, when there was passes to be played out wide.
Exactly. I wouldn't say daft balls. That you could see like he had the vision.
That's what I like about Shelvey. He takes risks. He doesn't play the normal pass.
Nah, he plays like the outside ball. He can get Deledian on it with his pace and Atsu on it on the other side. But I think he was overestimating them players a bit at the weekend against a Bournemouth team that didn't offer much at all.
Didn't do it until the second half when we just didn't turn out the blocks.
Yeah,
we just didn't come out of the tunnel. Like I say, the first half hour we were class. Everyone was buzzing, everyone was thinking, this is going to be another 2-3-0,
It was going to be a few.
Had the chances, obviously Begovic was outstanding, made some class saves. And obviously you talk about the Gale goal that should have been.
So did Elliot though. To credit to Elliot.
But then at the end of the first half, and then more so in the second half, they've hit the side net, and Elliot's made some class saves when he tipped it over.
Oh, aye.
So a draw might have been fair. Apart from, you see, the first 20 minutes, if we had nicked that goal or Gale's goal had been given, could have been a completely different story.
Exactly, Renty. But I think the amount of times this season when we've done it against teams, do you know what I mean?
Oh, I think we're going to see loads of 1-0s like we already have.
Yeah, like that Palace game when we nicked at the end, do you know what I mean? And I think you're going to get that some days, aren't you? Like, football isn't fair, do you know what I mean? If it
we
was,
see it all the time. Like, Arsenal could say the same yesterday when City, when he was miles off.
Exactly,
yeah. They got it given though, they stayed on side.
Yeah, and we've had players sent off, other teams haven't, but had decisions go away. It's just you look and
week in, week out, you're going to get in the Premier League, aren't you? But at the end of the day,
you got to ride your luck, haven't you?
You've got to make your own luck, and there was no one there to put the ball in the back of the net.
Exactly. I think with Gale as well, like, I think his confidence is maybe a bit lacking. Obviously, absolutely higher last season.
I thought he did well, mate, though. I thought he did well, Gale. He came in, he looked sharper than he had in another couple of games. I like the look of it, and I just think when they had the odd chance to do the 1-2s, and like early on, it was looking positive. It was looking promising. Yeah. But I think with Mitro in there, he would have just done a much better job than Hoslu did, because, like I say, with the 1-2s, Hoslu, remember when he shot wide? Yeah. He's not quick enough to react. He just doesn't suit the role at all.
What more does he have to do as well, Mitro? Like, we just this was one of the topics you talked about on Saturday, wasn't it?
And the fan TV side, the question of most people was, it's got to be personal. Is it personal? What's going on? We've heard he grafts on the training ground.
Exactly, we've heard that from inside reports and stuff like that.
He fucking does well when he comes on for his country. His goal ratio is still the best we've got with
the
strikers.
It's the same with Chancellor Mbemba as well. There was a bit of that last season when he was injured at the start of the season, didn't really perform. He brought him in, didn't he, Chancellor? And then again him. And Kieran Clark as well, starting, like, he was on the benched again, even though he's probably one of our best players. But to credit Lejeune, I suppose you just got to give the lad time, haven't you? Like, he's not.
It's just the money's been invested in him, and he's been at City. He must be decent. So he's got to give him the game time. But like we say, I mean, for Mitro, he's got to be given his chance, because fair enough, we know it always gets hied about. He's a liability. Rafa mustn't trust him. Yeah. He showed it against West Ham. You know, he comes on, hides the elbow about, but he scores. It's just like he's like the Balotelli figure, innit? Last night, Balotelli scores a winner, gets sent off. But when you look at the options that are there, he's got to be playing when he's better than Hoslu, he's better than Perez.
Exactly. He's one of those players as a centre back. You didn't want him coming on.
Right? You look at Hoslu.
You know he's just rigid. He doesn't get about. You know, Mitro is going to come on and make an impact. He's a big bloke. He's aggressive. He's getting up in your face. Do you know what I mean? And I think sometimes there aren't that many hard centre backs in the Premier League.
Traditional number 9.
Yeah, it's traditional number 9. You know, he's tall as well. Like, Joshua's big, but he doesn't get about.
No. He's tall, but he's skinny, and he's like you say, he doesn't try and outmuscle anyone.
Nah,
he's not a finisher. Nah. He wasn't really linking up passes that well with Gale when it came to the final third.
And I think obviously like Mitrovic has that. I don't think Gale's been. I don't think Joshua's been in that situation, especially at Newcastle, where he's had to link up with someone. Someone's always linking up with him, whether it be Perez or Modiane in that number 10 role. So I think for Joshua to adapt to that as well was a big ask. But I think it should have been Mitro rather, because you see he does it for country, and he's done it for Anderlecht before he came here. Playing Mitro as out and out number 9 that he should be, with, I don't know, like to the right or left of Gale would have been perfect, but I don't know. It's got to be
personal, isn't it? It's got to be personal, because he obviously doesn't trust him, like we say, but he's even bringing on Jacob Murphy, who I haven't seen anything of, and we've spent 12 million on him in the summer. Fair enough, give the lad his chance, but he looked like fish out of water. Then when he came on,
properly like Renty, it was just like,
it's a shame, because you look at him like, I was looking yesterday, Everton brought on Lookman. You know, he's another young, pacey, skillful player, and that's what we thought we were getting when we got Jacob Murphy. But I think he's just a bit scared to get on the ball. You think you'd give him the ball and you just take people on and go for it. He's got nothing to lose, got a point to prove, but he didn't look like he was up to scratch at all. I think he's got to go out on loan in January.
Same thing as Mitro. I don't think young players really get their chance at the tune.
No.
I think
but when you do come on, like Murphy did, he's got to impress, and obviously you can't judge him on like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or
few 10 minutes, 15 minute appearances here and there. But
if he's like, what the point is that if he's bringing on Murphy, Mitro must be sitting on the bench thinking, what the fuck have I got to do? Yeah.
Mitro is that type of guy who got 10 minutes to go at 0-0.
obviously all the fans were singing Mitro now, so if they brought him on, it would have lifted the place.
Lifted the place, lifted the crowd, got the fan not on side, but got them cheering, like making a bit of noise, bit of passion, and the players do react to that. We've seen it plenty of times here. Do you know what I mean? Saying, "Oh, they are the 12th man in the team." Do you know what I mean? They do give them an extra
boost. Like the Palace game carried them through.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, I don't know with Mitro, we'll come like January. Really, what happens with him? Whether
probably going to go.
He does get someone else, or he does go out on loan, or he does like what Tovan and Cabela did, whether you know when they go out on loan, but there are clauses in the contract which are activated through appearances or goals. I'm sad to see him go because he's got so much potential.
You don't want him to realise it elsewhere.
You forget.
Looks like Brighton or something coming for him, and you'll do well for him. That's what the last thing you want to see. And you'll be like,
I know.
That's what he said. That's what he wanted.
The best thing, not the best thing, but if he does go, I just hope he doesn't go to someone in this country.
I know. I hope he goes to Italy or somewhere.
Italy or Turkey or somewhere like that.
Apparently there was like substantial loan bids in the summer, like where they were willing to pay all his wages, they were willing to pay a loan fee. And now, not accepting that just doesn't make sense.
Exactly, like if you're not going to use them,
why keep them?
And
it's probably because obviously they didn't get anyone else in, but that would have freed up some money to hopefully get someone in. But I think obviously with the takeover on the horizon, probably
hopefully
January
that's going to be
looming,
quiet, but
I think he'll be out the door.
Yeah, unfortunately, because he's a fan's favourite, and I think he'll be one of them where sometimes with the tune we do let him go too young.
Oh, absolutely.
We look back and be like, oh, bollocks, and don't give him the chances. But
hopefully he gets a chance against Man U. Play him top with Gale, but Rafa, it's probably not going to happen.
No,
he'll probably be one on top away at Man U and play a risky game which will be 0-0.
Maybe that's why he doesn't play them, is because it's that risk. Do you know what I mean? If they're playing, one of them gets injured, then you've got the other one.
True.
That's all you got, and then you've got Joselu, and especially with how injury prone Gale is at the minute, with his hamstrings are like rubber bands. They're just it's that risk of can't bring, like say if Gale gets injured in training, then he's going to got Joselu or Mitro. Do you know what I mean? And Mitrovic can't really play a full game. Probably because he doesn't have the stamina too, because he never gets given a chance.
Exactly. Tell him all we need is bring back Paul Dummett. Once Paul Dummett's fit, 3 points back on the board.
Yeah. Paulie D
must be fucking extra strong this brown the other day, like.
Yeah, I gotta say aye.
But no, we'll wait for January. Hopefully get a few faces in. We'll hopefully stay afloat. I mean, everyone was a bit negative the other day on Twitter after a defeat, because at home you'd be hoping to beat teams like us in and around where obviously they were below us. But you've just got to remember we've had a great start.
Exactly. Better than expected.
The target is still 40 points. The target is still to survive, not get dragged into a relegation battle.
Let's take it game by game. Didn't be like, oh, if we beat them, we can beat them, we can beat them. It's just game by game, like Rafa says, and I think you get more results when you're short-term focused as well.
I think the like worrying, annoying thing as well, getting beat at home to Bournemouth, is that we've got a lot of tough fixtures coming up. We've got Man U away. Then Watford at home is going to be a tricky one because
they're on form.
They're banging them in. Obviously, they just got beat yesterday, but Marcus Silva's doing a class job there, just like Rafa. Yeah. And then you've got the likes of Man City and all that, and
Chelsea coming up
in
Arsenal
December.
Coming up. Tough
midweek
December.
Trips to West Brom, ugly game that no one wants to ever see in their life ever. So we've got to start picking up points here and there to make sure we don't get dragged into relegation battle come like festive period.
Especially when it's almost like the 6 pointers come the end of the season, but like that could be a big 3 points come the end of the season.
Especially for Bournemouth. Well, hopefully we won't have to look at that, but if Bournemouth are still down there, then definitely.
Yeah, I think the Palace game was a big game because they'll be down there and around. You can guarantee with fucking Roy Hodgson because they're not going to get any money, and it's a tricky one, isn't it? We'll play Everton soon, I think. We haven't played Everton yet, have we?
No, I haven't played Everton yet. Speaking of Everton, though, move on to the Premier League review.
Yes.
Everton, glorified PE teacher got his win yesterday.
He did.
Unsworth, according to Joey Barnes, is a big fat PE teacher. Against Marcus Silva's Watford.
Yeah, that was
amazing.
2-0
up and they came back 1-3-2. Cleverly missed a penalty in the last minute. Should have been 3-3.
Yeah. It was a good game to watch.
It was class,
a class game to watch. Enjoyed it very much, but I mean, they've got, I wouldn't say changing fortune, but it gives them a bit of momentum. Obviously with them, they've still got their Europa League.
No, they're out, man.
Oh, they're out, but they've still got games left.
Aye,
Do you know what I mean? They still have to play games, and the squad will still have to get used.
Aye.
And they can't feel like a B team. They can't feel the 16-year-olds.
Nah, they're not going to win. They've got
not
games at home now.
exactly.
It'll be a bit shit for everyone.
They're already out of it, but I think that's took a lot out of them already this season.
It always does. You see
Newcastle
that
struggled. Newcastle struggled in the Europa League.
Teams.
I think Man United did as well. Towards the end of last season, they're just seeing like, if we win this, it's Champions League.
You put your eggs in one basket if you get 4, and then if you don't, you've used up a lot of your squad's resources on the way.
Yeah, I think
Thursday night games, man, absolute hindrance in it.
Yeah, and the thing is, they still haven't got a manager yet. Angelis.
Nah, I don't think they'll appoint him off.
Nah,
permanently. So
as much as I quite like this, seeing just someone a bit different, like an ex-pro come in,
work his way up the
way up, exactly. Like knows the teams, like sort of like a Tim Sherwood role. Like obviously he brought in the Kane, Ali, and Townsend and stuff. Utilised them because it's someone that, as players, you can trust and you've known for a long time.
And Unsworth looks like you might do the same, like we say with Luckman. Obviously, Calvert-Lewin's came off the bench and scored yesterday. So it would be nice to see English man getting the job.
A young Englishman doing well.
They pumped the money out of a Dutch manager Coleman and didn't work out. So why not try the opposite?
Why not? I think he's got a good British core there as well. Rooney, Ashley Williams,
Michael
Keane, Pickford, who's like one for the future.
I think the squad does look class on paper. So.
But they're paper thin in reality.
They won't put the ball away like us.
Nah,
striker wise, obviously scored a few yesterday, but they haven't got that number 9 that
they've just got loads of class number 10s. Rooney,
10.
Rooney, Sigurdsson. You know what I mean? They just haven't. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens at Everton. But leaning on to managerial appointments.
Breaking news. Bilic has been sacked.
Bilic out, Moisey in.
Apparently Moisey's. Imagine going on and thinking that you're going to get Rafa Benitez as your manager, and David Moyes gets appointed.
Dumb.
We're gonna get Rafa. All that was the link on it for you.
A few weeks ago. It was even the start of the season. It was the summer.
He's going to go West Ham.
Bilic has been on borrowed time from the beginning.
Going there, even with Everton.
Even with Bilic, Rafa's been linked with every job, right, left, and centre. Even with Everton, even with West Ham. But
you're not getting Benitez. No. Big fat no.
Exactly.
Even in Spanish. No, he's not going anywhere. He's staying here, especially with the takeover.
You've always got a project here, hasn't he?
Of course,
that's what he likes. He likes having he's got like a plan. Do you know what I mean? He's got where he wants the club to be, and he put the graft in. That's what he didn't have at Real. He had that a bit in Napoli. He had that at Liverpool, especially. He didn't have that in Milan. That's why he sort of jumped ship a bit. He's got that this is my club. This is how I want it to run. Rafa's way or knee way,
it is
as Liverpool found out when he left.
Right.
But I think Moisey's appointment,
the return of Moisey. I mean, why would you look at him and think, that's the man I want in charge after the failures at Man U?
He hasn't done anything for a good years.
He hasn't done it out since he done well at Everton, but we've seen loads of people do well at one club.
Did he really do well at Everton looking back?
Well, I got him into Europe on a knee budget, didn't he?
Yeah, but he was there 10 years. They were just floating about, do you know what I mean? They didn't really get anywhere. They were safe, but they didn't really. Not saying a club like Everton should be. Not saying they should be challenged from the league, and obviously he was on a shoestring budget. He did do well to keep them up and keep them going. And obviously, Martinez took over, and that didn't go too well. And I think, especially with Everton, because of all the new money and all this, there's the added pressure, and I think. Moisey just can't handle it. You see him fold at Man United with the pressure there. Absolutely made some daft decisions, got rid of the wrong players. But
I'm happy with it. Thanks West Ham for appointing Moisey, and hopefully he'll stay down there.
Exactly. There've been some crap replacements in the Premier League though. We've had already 4 seconds already. What about Roy Hodgson? And David Moyes.
The bottom of the pile managers, aren't they?
Yeah.
They think you'll be lucky to get a job again, and they just rushed into these clubs with plenty of money again.
I wonder what the odds at the beginning of the season would have been Roy Hodgson and David Moyes
to be back in employment by November.
Back in employment by November, because honestly, it's mind boggles. Bilic.
The main problem at West Ham was the players weren't turning up. You got players there who didn't give a shit about the club, were on high wages, end of the career, been through the prime. And I don't think Moisey's going to be the one to come through the door and lift them and get respect from them.
We touched on this a bit last week.
Aye.
It was sort of what the Toon did before we got relegated the first time round. Mid 2000s, like sign I'll say ex-pros, but they pretty much were, like Mark Vidikas, the Alan Smiths,
Damien Duffs
that have been at big clubs, made their name for themselves and just faded off. Signed them on big contracts, big wages, like Hernandez, like he hasn't really come back, he hasn't set the world.
That now, aye.
Exactly.
Joe Hart's just carrying on woeful form.
Yeah, he's just like, I think at the beginning of the season most people had both them in their fantasy teams or had them like at least like first goal scorer or like to score a goal during a game, and
they paid like 30 million for Arnautovic. What the fuck?
Exactly, like
player turns up once every 10 games, you know what I mean? That's
he was
mental.
even shit in the Stoke team as well, like
that's what I mean.
He wasn't shit, but like
he's capable of magic. He has that one good game, but then he goes missing. Like you wouldn't have to pay that much for him. Like he was pretty much the replacement for Dimitri Payet, man.
And he's got a massive ego as well, because obviously he's like main man for like Austria, which is Mr. Austria, which is basically like me being the main man for like I don't know, Papua New Guinea, something like that. I think as well, like they've just spent the money in the wrong places, which we alerted to a bit before. The other,
but Everton not getting Lukaku's replacement. They haven't
exactly where they got like these teams seem to get money and get investors, and they just don't really. Sort of Palace, they don't get the right players in. I think players agents use that to their advantage and their personal gains. Do you know what I mean? By being like, oh well, you're gonna have to pay this for him. He's gonna have to be on this much wages. Like Pablo Zabaleta, like at City, like
that's a period example of a retirement home right there for him. Like.
Exactly, it's a retirement home. It's him staying in England. You'll play like a season, like Julian Lescott did with Aston Villa.
Awful.
Do you know what I mean? I do think West Ham have got some good players. Like I rate Mark Noble as a class player, and Winston Reed's a class centre back. But I think they just haven't really got around the park. And I think Moisey coming in, like, how on earth as a player can you be energised by that appointment? It's a bit like when Shay Given was like, oh, Newcastle, when he any given Thursday, when he was on about how the club announced John Carver came in the dressing room after training and went, oh, your new manager is Joe Kinnear. I think they'll apply with JFK, Joe fucking Kinnear. Do you know what I mean? I bet them.
Is there a joke in here?
Bet you £10 at least the West Ham players that trained today turned up.
They'll be cracking jokes about it, and it just shows he's got no
David
chance
Moyes
already.
comes in, do you know what I mean? Like, look at his recent record. He relegated Sunderland, which to be fair was by no fault of his own. He didn't have the funds. He tried to do the best job he could. There was a broken chalice already. You'd already said by this time last year that relegation, like doing a relegation battle,
I couldn't do much with
pretty much throwing, like pretty much going into the ring. First round throwing in the towel. Do you know what I mean? You got like, but I think with West Ham though, they've got like.
You could say the same about when he was at Man U now though, because Fergie left. He knew exactly what he was doing. Fergie left with an Asian squad. Best players are gone.
They weren't all Asian though.
Like so, and how can you follow his footsteps? So no one really could they?
Nah.
So you could look at it that way. Like look at the job he's done at Everton. Look at he went into 2 tough jobs, and obviously then he went to Spain. That didn't work out at all.
Sociedad he didn't really do.
And then again, what Sociedad as well, like a mid-table club with no real funds or aspirations. So
Griezmann, who just sold, I think, when he took over. But it's one of them. We didn't really have that, that energy to it. And I think one of the big things with Moisey is, I think I can't see him going in there and
being
energising being motivated. He just hasn't. He's Scottish at the end of the day. Let's be honest.
Dull,
dull, boring. Like, have you ever? Even when he's happy, he looks sad. You know what I mean? And I think for him, it's just the paycheck, really. I think they
can't get much worse in his last clubs, can it? So he's got.
No, I think Bilic was. Even Bilic's appointment was a bit. Obviously, had a good record, but I think the way that Sam left and stuff like that. The way that Sam obviously came back, got Sunderland, got England, got Palace. I think he probably looked at that job, but I think he's probably fell out with the owners, like he did here. Because even at when Gutierrez scored and Sissoko scored when we stayed up and Hull went down, that was the Allardyce's last game, I think. Aye. And at the end of the game, they were all going to sign a contract. Then he announced he was leaving. But yeah, like I said, like West Ham have got a stadium as well, all the fans. I think that's another thing as well we alluded to a few Magpie Mondays ago, was the stadium. As soon as you move stadium, it doesn't like
Yeah, that
tears
unsettling
everything
period
out.
there when you...
Yeah, they're still bedding into it, like been there a season now. But I think the big thing is, will he be there in January? Which he could do a Brad Bobley. They could just sack him completely. I think the funds are there, but it needs a lot. I think it needs a lot, but I think it just needs motivation. I think Moyes is completely the wrong man for it.
I'd agree. Moyes, one of Moyes' ex-teams, Man U. Yesterday we touched upon about the negativity I did a couple of weeks ago on the podcasts, and it paid off again. Yesterday, 1-0 defeat away at Chelsea. That's, I think, 8 or 9 points now behind City.
Well, it wasn't on the 508 phone, and so the clip's gone viral. Man United fans, I think it's probably from London, but he was alerted to that they're just a rich man's West Brom.
Right. Rich West Brom are Man United,
to be fair,
because they're playing terrible football.
You all sort of knew that with Jose, so it's very defensive.
It's all about the result, isn't it?
It's all about the result. Which at the end of the day,
I'm so glad it's not paying off for him, because he pisses me off when he parks the bus and all that. He had a chance to go for it against Liverpool, didn't do it yesterday. Substitutions too late, and even the substitutions like Fellaini bringing on. I used to love the man, now I hate the man. I'm just so glad to see them behind.
I know, it was always like an exciting coach, obviously with Chelsea team, with his Chelsea teams, but he's just, since he went back to Chelsea, he's just brought a dull style of football.
I think he's done it all. I don't think he's motivated anymore. I think he's just doing it because if he didn't, he'd be bored.
I think he did that.
He hasn't got the hunger that he did when he first came to Chelsea that give everyone.
I think he likes being
into him.
He likes being the underdog as well.
No.
He likes people being underestimating him like they did at Chelsea. Like Chelsea would be nowhere where they are now without Jose. Like the amount of players he brought in, like club legends like Didier Drogba, and like bedded through the, like made John Terry the player that he was, Lampard and that. And I just think, like Renty's alluded to, I think he's done everything. Like,
what's he got? The best thing for him to do would probably just go and manage Portugal, go in national management now and try and win his country the World Cup or something like that. Because
I think
he's won Champions League, he's won FA Cup, he's won the league, he's won Italian Serie A, he's won Spanish. You know, he's done everything.
It's pretty much the
That's why
like, he's already won the Prem.
He seems to already be falling out with fans. I was reading United fans yesterday kicking off because he was saying it's done them no favours. The other week, how he was saying he wants to manage PSG one day.
Yeah,
you know, Man U fans are like, they want someone there who loves the club and wants to be there forever.
They just want him the Fergie, really. Like, you know,
not gonna happen
like
in this Monday, I'm afraid.
No, especially with managerial tactics left, right, and centre. And I think they did get the right man. I think there wasn't anyone else more last season that could bring it in. I think players want to play under him as well because of the success he's had. But I just don't think he can. It was like when he left Chelsea, you could tell there was something up with him. Do you know what I mean? He just wasn't motivated at all for out with the like doctor and stuff like that. It was a daft thing, and then to come back and obviously win the Prem, like that's the best thing he could have done for the club, apart from like win the Champions League, which is the thing that he hasn't won with the British club.
Aye.
You can't see him winning with United. Or you'll have to do the eggs in one basket and throw everything at the Champions League and not the league.
May as well do that already, because other side of Manchester City are flying, like you say, 8-9 points clear. Don't think they're going to get caught at all.
Nah, they're probably going to do the Arsenal.
I fancy an invisible season there.
Invisible season there, especially under Pep. He's just so. You've got the players just attack. It's like the old Kevin Keegan way, really.
Entertainers on there.
Where they literally are entertainers. De Bruyne pinging all the balls about left, right, and centre. They've got the strength and depth as well. Like they've got players like Yaya Toure
and Jesus and that young promising talents, and even sometimes he starts.
Guerrero's on the bench,
comes on like a goal scorer, and like when you fix the problems at the back as well, they are attack. But got the fullbacks in over the summer, big money moves, got the goalkeeper, and then he finally wanted it and play from the back.
Yeah,
and it's just working an absolute treat for him.
Yeah, I think
like storming away with it.
Yeah, I think especially with his second season now at City.
Aye.
He just needed that bit of time, and you could like with his pedigree as well, like. He did at Bayern Munich, but he was like, yeah, like they're just Bayern Munich. But I think he's definitely got the the old how to put, like, he's always been like, people thought he's got it easy because, like, oh, he had it easy at Barca, like, he had all the players, he walked in that great squad. Now Bayern Munich, oh well, there's only 2 teams challenging for the league. And I think he just really, like, if he does win the Prem with City, it'll put him up there with on the pedestal that he's always wanted with.
Of course it will.
Mourinho, and not saying like he's equal to Mourinho, but do you know what I mean? People would, not saying people write him off, but people like, oh, he's got his way of football. He's had it easy. He hasn't really had to, like,
walked into
a
sides
hard
that
job.
are going to win, like anyone could win titles with.
But I think
he's had a bit of work to do at City, and he, like we say, he's had the money again. Like, that's the main thing. But
that's true. Yeah, he hasn't had that shoestring budget manager. But I don't think you can really put yourself or win these sort of things these
without
days
putting money in. No.
Without putting money in. I mean, like, obviously Leicester was like a one-off where they had
1
that,
million
but
that
like,
one,
obviously Ranieri, he was experienced manager. He knew what he was doing. I think it's quite hard for young managers these days, especially when you're a young manager and these old ones that have been around the block, done this, like Roy Hodgson, do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like dinosaur football.
Looking back to if Unzas doesn't get it, and they just give it to someone like Sam or someone who's been here, old, boring.
Dinosaurs, that's all they are, Renty. Like dinosaurs that are just, they have the way of football that is very negative, do you know what I mean? There was a bit like Mourinho's going back to, like, what Mourinho's style now, like
getting older than Mourinho, he's following suit, forming into the old T-Rex.
Exactly, like you knew what you were getting with the Sam side. Lump the ball up front, big man, bosh. Do you know what I mean? It was very like, even like Tony Pulis his Stoke side used to get called like a rugby team, didn't they? Do you know what I mean? They just lump the ball up front, and he's struggling a bit at West Brom now though.
They're they're normally hard to beat, but they're having a stink. I was seen on Saturday they got beat. Every game on Saturday at 3 o'clock in the Premier League was a 1-0.
No good from over 2.5 bets.
But Tony Pulis again at West Brom, he's struggling.
Yeah, like he did a good job at Stoke.
Getting found out now though, isn't he? Getting found out.
Exactly, that's the thing. I think
again at West Brom, limited resources.
Yeah.
So no.
Yeah.
I haven't spent any money.
Yeah, true. Yeah, they didn't get like a big money sign. Got good players though, like Rondon's. Like he can bag one every 4 games or something.
Part of Pulis straight, then he just tall bloke.
Yeah, obviously they bought Chadley, which is an expensive buy from Spurs. They've got Hal Robson-Carney as well. They got him on a free, and he's just a championship striker. He had a good Euros.
So I mean, like on paper, it's not very good. And
no.
Pulis fading, another dinosaur. Just waiting to go extinct.
Probably just pick up another job like the dinosaurs have, like Hodgson, like Allardyce. Do you know what I mean? These old, like old blokes who just try and they just pick up jobs. Like I see Roy Hodgson's out for a bit and give him a Palace job. You're laughing, do you know what I mean? Like, especially with Roy Hodgson, there'll be something in his contract, like with Sam at Sunderland, where if they stay up, they will get a
nice couple of million easy,
massive lumper.
Aye.
And it's just one last paycheck for them. Do you know what I mean? Like Hodgson's like 71. Do you know what I mean? Even Moisey's getting on a bit now, and you think like he must be a millionaire by now. Got a piggy bank's pretty full. Like, do you know what I mean? He's not. But I suppose he's probably not doing it for money. He's probably just doing it.
They just do it because they've had football all their life, so they know nothing else.
True.
You know what I mean? Once, even if you out of a job a few months, I bet it feels like years to them because they're used to the day to the day.
Yeah.
And there's only so much golfing and holidays that you can take in there, so
true.
They do get plenty of time anyway. So why wouldn't you?
Yeah, and especially with like the punditry stuff they do as well.
Aye.
Like Sam was on Match of the Day.
Saturday night, one night.
Aye, with his daft big shirt and his big chin.
Big fat fuck.
But no, but though Sam's come out and said he doesn't really want another job, and which I think is probably one of those sort of, I don't want one.
But if the offer is loads of money,
but nah, not like that. Oh right, you're gonna give me 150 grand a week.
Unlike maybe why or whatever, Sam is definitely all about the money, as we found out why he lost the England job.
Backhanders left, right and centre. He's all about the money.
The only reason Sam's saying he's not interested in the job is because the only thing he's going to get offered is the same thing he always has to do, and that's a relegation scrap.
Exactly.
He's probably thinking, like, what's the point in me doing that again?
You know how dodgy Redknapp is? Do you know what I mean? He's sort of in the circling around the pond, use that word, the fishes around the Sunderland job, do you know what I mean? And they're just, I don't know, like, as a manager, of that age and that stature, you would just hang out your boots, man. You look what Eddie Howe's done with Bournemouth. Do you know what I mean? Like, there was chat that like Redknapp was going to come in there and be his advisor and bed him through, but there's a time to leave, and I think these managers have probably should, but they're getting all this daft money in football now, and I'd rather see a young, exciting manager take over somewhere like Everton, or maybe it's Palace or Leicester, and just really give it a good go, because it can work with like
Given them
Eddie
times,
Howe.
the crucial still be the last one for a couple of weeks, because Big Renty's gone on big travels, gone away for a few weeks.
Might get something up and about.
I'll try and get something when I'm in Thailand or something. Going to watch the Man U game there. I'm going to be about. Might do a little Magpie Mondays on Patong Beach, or if I can find like a Newcastle group over there, or if we're in the bar watching Man U game, there's someone there. Just do a few interviews or something, or
I think we're going to plan
get people's opinions, or I'll just talk about one of the games afterwards, maybe. Whatever.
Just plan a little Skype talk that I might put out there. Just me and Renty just talking about football, reading everything, Premier League and whatnot. England maybe's. So hopefully get that up and out soonish. Just keep it gunning,
keep the content flowing, keep you seeing
exactly,
and then it'll be a while before we're back with the games I'm missing, but it'll be the Leicester game in it.
Yeah, that's
5:30. Yeah,
yep.
Saturday the 2nd or something like that.
Yeah.
No, that's a Chelsea game.
No,
the 9th,
game,
the following weekend.
Yeah.
Is a 5:30 kick off though, so we'll be outside cheering for that one. Fan TV. Stay tuned though. Keep on putting the videos out and enjoy yourselves.